Hey everybody, the Reds here, Suck here, with girlfriend unit, fiance unit, that's right. We were looking around in the box of Martin today, and we found these sway bar bushings. Yes. When I turn the wheel in the car, the sound it makes is like screech, 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 screech. So it can't be the sway bar links, and it can't be the tie rod ends, so I'm guessing it's going to be the sway bar bushings, because I recently replaced the tie rod ends and whatnot. So we're going to get this. We're also going to get our, what's it called, torque wrench, I guess? That. We're probably going to need this converty bit. Yeah, looking at the Haynes manual, if you don't have one, I recommend that you get one. For the stabilizer bar bracket bolts, they need to be tightened down with 44 feet-pounds of torque, and instructions for their removal can be found over here. It says jack up the car and remove the tires and remove the sway bar links and whatnot. I'm feeling a little bit lazy. I'm going to see if I could just remove the bracket and change the bushings that way. So we've got some sandpaper, some basic tools that you'll see later on, a little bit of PB Blaster, lovely assistant, and let's get to work. So as you can see, we don't have the heat shields over this bracket thing. This is a 15mm socket, and it will fit over this and this. I've never done this before, so this is going to be a fun challenge. And it looks like this has never been done to the car, I guess, or maybe it has, but it's been such a long time because these are rusted on. So, fiance unit, if you could hand me some gloves, please. I'm also probably going to turn this on so that people can see what I'm doing. Yes. There's not a whole lot of PB Blaster here, so I gotta make it last. I do want to get the threads and this whole assembly in general, but I don't want to waste it. I'm gonna do the same for the other side. This is the breaker bar, this is the little extension bit I'm talking about, and here is the 15mm socket. And let's try this and hope for the best. Now, this was originally tightened down, I hope, with 44 feet-pounds of torque, so this should not be terrible to remove. There we go. There it goes. I feel it going. I feel it going. Yeah, just a little bit more. Now I hope there is a nut in there. I hope that's not rotating. I hope this thing is actually coming out. Good. Definitely loosened it up. My elbow keeps hitting the catalytic converters. Okay. Okay, love, see if you could grab me, please, a ratchet. I'm actually quite surprised with how easy that part was to take off. I'm looking at this other bolt on the top, and I wonder how difficult that one is going to be to reach.
Acrylics be. Here's the motherfucking tea.
I love you. Okay. Alright, this is out. I'm guessing this nut stays in place actually. Okay, note that there is in fact a washer that belongs on this. Let's wipe off our hands on the paper towel. and we have to reach the bolt over here on the top. This potentially is going to be a challenge. We're going to grab our sway bar link here. Excuse me, breaker bar. We're going to grab our breaker bar, and again, if righty is tighty, then lefty is loosey. That would be our first snag. It might also be easier actually to tackle it from this side. When I'm loosening things, I would ordinarily prefer to be pulling down on them instead of pushing up. This is going to take a little bit of wiggling around, but I hope you guys are understanding of that. Fortunately, it appears to be easy to remove because I felt it go. And hit the camera again, didn't I? Such a bad YouTuber, I'm sorry guys. There she goes. So we can now hit it with the ratchet. Whoops, there we go. There's the bracket and the other screw. That all came off quite nicely. We're going to put the other screw through the bracket, and I'm going to lay it down on this side. An old car, this being an old car, I believe it would be better if I kept this bracket on this side and these screws in these holes. That's not necessary, they should all be the same, but I just figured that'd be good to do. So there you go. That's how that looks like. This little rubbery mushy thing doesn't look too bad, I think. But we gotta go and look at the other side now. The other side is going to be a similar story. So we're just going to work through this very quickly. Oh, there it goes. Apologies for the strange noises. Yeah, welcome to our ASMR channel. While we're here, we might as well set the top one as well. Oops. This one is actually being a problem child. But we got it. That's one. And that's the second one. I assume this was the top, so I'm going to put this screw in here. Like so. And notice that this was facing towards us, I believe. Yes, the sway bar does come down, so you don't need to remove all the other elements. So we remove this problem. This crusty rubber problem. There's this piece of garbage that's all warped and weird and dinged up. It's not in an awful state, but it's just misshapen, I guess. Let's get this other one off. This one too has seen its share of wear and tear, I guess. Again, it's just all warped and stuff. I brought some sandpaper to clean up the bar, but if you look at the bar, there's no rust. It's actually very incredibly smooth to the touch in comparison to the rest of it. So this whole bar, which is sitting on my chest and it's pretty heavy, this is all rusted up. But then you go over here and it's nice and clean. Same on this end. So I'm going to have to just grease it up. I don't even have to sand anything. I would like for you to find the section about the stabilizer bar, please. Okay, yes, the bushings are removed on installation. Now there's a bit that mentions something about how the bushings face a certain way. It's like, please note that these face this way and they must be reinserted.
Note that the slit in the bushing is facing towards the rear of the vehicle and must be installed in the same direction.
Okay, so the slit must be facing the rear of the vehicle, so it must be facing this way. Thanks, hun. Okay, so these are big, beefy Moog bushings. What I am going to do is I'm going to grab some grease, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Just some synthetic grease, and put it on here. I might do just a little bit more actually. I don't want to put too much so as to spill over the sides or anything, but once this bushing goes on, it's going to spread it all along. So just dab, dab, dab. Just a little bit of grease, and like I said, we're going to turn the bushing around in there, so it's going to apply all the grease to the edges. Actually, that was not as bad as I thought. Slap that sucker on there. There we go. And like I said, give it a little bit of a twirl. Again with the grease. We're just gonna put it on there. Maybe you want it spread out just a little bit, but we don't want to put too much. Just a little bit will do. Just a little bit. It's like just little pieces of rubber, but my goodness, are they so difficult. Come on, buddy. Come on. Okay. There we go. Success. Ah, yes. Again, give it a little spin. Now remember, as per Haynes manual / Fiance instructions, the slit has to face the rear of the vehicle. So we're going to try and nicely put this stuff back. Let me take this, set it on here. See, if I set this bushing so that it's nice against this side, then this bushing is a little bit out of whack. The instructions say that I should try and hammer down this metal slit a little bit. If you want to put lubricant on the threads, that's a pretty good idea. Now, looking at this bracket, I worry that this is actually going to be a very tight fit. But we're going to give it our best shot here. So that's where we're at now. It was being a little bit stubborn, but I've tapped over these things. I put this bracket on. It's coming on nicely. First, we're going to get these, nice and flush by hand. Now, they say start the top one first, and then go to the bottom one, but I'm going to do both evenly. A little bit different than the instructions, but I feel like it'll be a nice, flat, it'll just be nice and flat, yeah? Yeah, see, as I'm clamping it down, you can see that the rubber is kind of getting squished in, and it's forming a very tight, proper fit. It was a bit of an awkward fit and difficult to get on at first, but now that you get the bolts threaded, it's going on just fine. Stick this sucker on there. Okay, check that. Yep, that's 44 foot-pounds. Let's do the same over here. If I can reach it. can't reach that one. Not without removing the catalytic converter or something. So, since I know more or less how this feels, I'm going to do the top by hand. See, if I pull it down, I know that I require that much force to do that. Try that once more. Yes, perfect. And we've got to do the top by feeling. So it's gonna be fun, but it shouldn't be too terrible. Let's say that feels correct. Let me do that for the other side as well. And that is that. New bushing on this side. Bottom one is at 44 pound-feet of torque. Top one is guesstimating by hand. Same situation over here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this car for a test drive and see how it handles, but yeah, that would be that. Should be all good. I'm currently at about 206,530 miles. That's an approximate number. So I'm going to fire up the car. I'm going to get it off the ramp, so I'm going to take it for a test drive, make sure everything is operating as it should, and that will be that. Maybe I might actually take a mallet and just smack those back into place real quick, but that's done. So, thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye-bye.